September 1945. The greatest conflict in human history had just ended. For the pilots of the P-51 Mustang, the return home was a hero's welcome. But for the planes themselves, the reward was a death sentence. Within months, the same machines that had cleared the Luftwaffe from the skies were being lined up like cattle for the slaughter. In storage depots across the US and Europe, thousands of Mustangs sat silent. The cost of maintenance was higher than their perceived value. The solution? Brutal. Acetylene torches began slicing through Merlin engines. Giant steel plates were dropped from cranes to snap airframes in half. A legendary fighter was being turned into scrap metal to make soda cans and kitchen foil. But amid this destruction, a few people saw something else. One was a teenager named Ed Maloney. While others saw junk, he saw history. He spent his childhood clippings and building models, and now he watched his dreams being melted away. He began buying technical manuals and parts from workers for pennies. This was the birth of the preservation movement. While the U.S. government was selling these $50,000 masterpieces for just, $500, less than the price of a Ford car, an underground culture of Mustang lovers was keeping the legend on life support. The jet age was supposed to make the Mustang obsolete. By 1950, the F-80 Shooting Star was the new king. But when war broke out on the Korean Peninsula, the future failed. The new jets were too fast for their own good. They couldn't land on the mud-clogged, cratered runways of Korea. They burned fuel so fast that they had to turn back before they even found the target. The military was desperate. They went back to the desert, pulled the Mustangs out of mothballs, and renamed them the F-51. But Korea wasn't Europe. The Mustang, designed for high-altitude escort, was now being forced into low-level ground attacks. Its liquid-cooled engine, the legendary Merlin, was now its biggest weakness. A single rifle bullet to the radiator would seize the engine in minutes. It became a suicide mission for many. Over 350 Mustangs were lost in Korea, not to enemy planes, but to the brutal reality of ground fire. While the U.S. was fighting in Korea, a new nation was fighting for its life in the Middle East. Israel needed fighters, but the world had closed its doors. Israeli agents turned to the black market. They bought Mustangs in the U.S. and crated them up, labeling the boxes as combine harvesters and agricultural equipment. By the 1956 Suez Crisis, these tractors were performing the most daring missions in history. Imagine flying at 400 miles per hour, just 5 feet off the ground. Your mission? Not to drop bombs, but to use your wings and propeller as a knife. Israeli pilots flew so low, they physically snapped Egyptian telephone lines to cut off enemy command. This wasn't just flying. It was aerial surgery with a 3-ton war machine. The year was 1969. Man was about to walk on the moon. But in Central America, the clock had stopped in 1944. El Salvador and Honduras went to war over a soccer match. This football war saw the last time in history that propeller-driven planes fought each other. It was Mustang versus Corsair. Captain Fernando Soto of Honduras made history when he downed a Salvadoran Mustang, ending the era of the piston-engine dogfight forever. Today, the Mustang is no longer a weapon. It's a multi-million-dollar treasure. From the roar of the Reno Air Races to the silver screen with Tom Cruise and Top Gun, Maverick, the P-51 has achieved something no other plane has. It refused to become scrap. It refused to be forgotten.